And welcome to Privateer Press Primecast Lock and Load 2017 Live, your only official place for all things live at Lock and Load from Privateer Press.
You got
I'm
it.
your host, Will Schick, and I'm with my co-host, Will Hungerford.
I love it.
I know, every time now.
We have the most special guest with us.
We do. We have Mr. Matt Wilson, creative director for Privateer Press, creator of all things, really.
I'm here, live.
Yeah, it's happening. There's no take-backsies on this at all. It's terrifying.
This is permanent.
All right, so let's just kick things off with an easy question. What's your highlight for Lock and Load? It's the biggest thing.
Oh, man.
You've been here the whole weekend.
So many things. The Boars Gate thing was awesome. That was huge.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys talk about it because you were in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But like dropping into the middle of that was amazing. I was pretty amped after our keynote. That went pretty cool.
The keynote was amazing
we
this
held
year.
Nothing back. We put it all right there on the table.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat, like walking around with no secrets. I like that. So
You can't spoil anything. There's nothing left.
Well, we have like one or two left. One or two left.
Maybe.
I don't.
Please still
I
pay
don't.
attention
Maybe
to
you
us for
do.
the rest of the year. Like we will have new things to say.
I've been confirming everything.
Oh.
Yes.
The mini crate announcement
Yes.
that was huge. Been waiting to do that for it seems like forever.
Yeah.
So anybody who missed that, check it out at mini-crate.com, mini-crate.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're international too, don't worry. You won't see shipping options, but those are coming. We're working on those right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
We're working with some fulfillment partners in different regions all over the world, so we can basically just make sure that we crush the shipping costs down as much as possible to anybody who's subscribing.
And if you're watching it and you don't know what Mini Crate is, the quick version is a monthly subscription system where you're going to get a new miniature every month that is only available. Then we're actually going to destroy the molds.
Yes.
In probably the most
Spectacular
spectacular
fashion.
fashion we can. And we're talking cool.
Semi-legal fashion, I would even say, based on what I've heard so far.
We're gonna push the envelope on what's legal to do to a mold.
Got it.
Brent's got a lot of look at like Bellevue civil codes to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Well, we make Brent's life hell.
We've already got people also signing up for classes so they can get various licenses,
Yeah.
like a Class 1 Pyro license.
Nice.
We're gonna need that.
But these miniatures are going to be things that you can actually use in games of War Machine and Hordes. Most of the time, we do whatever we want. But for example, one of the first ones we showed was the Swamp Siren, which was an alt sculpt for the Swamp Horror that people will be able to use as their Swamp Horror in games of War Machine and Hordes. So if you're also a player of the game, these are some really awesome alt sculpts you can only get through the service, and you can be special.
Well,
you're going to have one of these.
I mean, if you think about the exclusives that we've done, like the Bombshell Bombardier, the Druid Gone Wild, or stuff like that, it's in that vein, but even taken a step further.
but even more exclusive because
more exclusive and different. I would say even more off the beaten track.
Yeah,
Right?
it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely playing with these with those characters and going for something that's both artistic as much as possible, as well as amusing. They tell a different story.
Oh, I want
different
3
take.
of the Swamp Sirens for my Gatorman army. I have to get those.
Well, you can subscribe at mini-crate.com.
I have to subscribe?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Man,
You'll sign up.
I will, but I
know.
thought maybe I get some special treatment.
The thing is, you don't want to miss out. Right?
We'll charge you shipping, but deliver it to you by hand. How's that? That's pretty special, right?
Deal.
All right, good. So what's been your highlight, Hungerford?
Oh, man, there's been so much because Lock and Load is... I've been here every day for 18 hours. Not that I'm working 18 hours, but I work my shift, and then I'm here before hanging out with people, and I'm here after playing games. Because if I didn't work at Privateer Press, I would be at this show, right? Boars Gate finally happened, it was awesome to see it all come together. Getz and I worked together on this for months to build together sort of the narrative and the rules flow and how it worked, and the players jumped into it headfirst and had a great time.
There was some wild stuff that happened during that game.
One of the key things was it was a narrative War Machine game, a narrative GM'd War Machine game where everyone had plot twist tokens, where they could spend a plot twist, go to Getz, ask him for something. They'd say in the mic what they were trying to do, and then Getz would explain how it worked. And these could be things like, I want my model with acrobatics to run up the back of this colossal and land on the wall. But they got really... one of the first ones was the front gate was being beaten down, and one of the defenders was a Darius player. So he used his plot twist and his feat and destroyed an ironclad to have Darius basically have a stroke of genius, tear the ironclad apart and start shoving it in the holes in the gate and to fully heal the gate back, which worked. And that was really cool.
Yeah.
I personally was rooting for living Holden.
So was I.
But
and our players completely let us down. There's only one player, I think, who wanted him to live.
So the Grimkin arrived trying to get Holden, who was behind the gate, and he was hiding inside this building. And several of the players, mainly the ones defending the front gate, the ones up on the side walls that were being destroyed, they kind of stayed true to the end, but the ones defending the gate all defected and betrayed their allies and let the Grimkin in through the front gate. The only holdout was a Crix player.
The only hero in the entire game
was a Crix player.
Crix.
He had a Death Jack on the wall. He had floated a Wraith engine through it. He had Aekos up on the wall. Aekos jumped off the wall, went after the King of Nothing to kill him, who Souls was playing, by the way. Failed. Souls killed him, and then there was no one left to defend the front gate. And so the Grimkin got in, and they grabbed Holden by the leg, and they dragged him out. And then quick follow-up to that, the following day, Matt Wilson and I and Seacat and Getz and...
Mike Valancourt? Nate Fema.
Yeah.
Our concept artist.
We did the Design Holden Live event where we sat with a lot of the people that were in the Boars Gate event and listed suggestions, and Matt was just live drawing what Hollow Man Holden is going to look like. So before next Lock and Load, definitely, but probably early next year, you're going to see Hollow Man Holden released for War Machine and Hordes.
Yeah.
And I think that is
first,
awesome.
Next first Grimkin model, too.
I got to say, I'm pretty satisfied with Hollow Man Holden. Like that was the outcome I was personally rooting for, because I thought it'd be more interesting to draw him as a shriveled, craven Hollow Man.
As a Minions player, I wanted the one that would work for my faction.
Yeah, well, you didn't get that.
I know,
but we're gonna get
out.
a sweet mini.
We are going to get a sweet mini, and what Matt has drawn so far is horrifyingly awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of the coolest hangouts that I've ever done in all the years
Yeah.
that we've been here at Lock and Load, because we had, I don't know, 20, 25 people there throwing out ideas on what they wanted to see, and they were great ideas, and they were like digging deep into the lore, going back through the story that we've been telling through the league all year long, and and they knew all the different elements that were important to Holden, and we were trying to work all of those in.
Yeah.
And it's going to turn out to be a good mini, whichever way we go with it, because we've got a bunch of different iterations of it now. It's going to be sweet.
Yep. And Chick, what was your highlight of the show?
Man, there's been so many. I think the Boars Gate thing was a lot of fun. It was really, I got to sit through the whole thing and narrate it. It was amazing, even if the outcome wasn't what we were hoping for.
No.
I mean, I was kind of like getting frustrated and like, no, don't do it. But that was great. I think for me, the keynote was probably the highlight, right? It was just so big, and we got to drop so much information, including Mini Crate Alexa, which was big news. So yeah, it was just good times all
just a
around.
ton of theme forces, the 12 factions of Christmas,
and like. And, in the end of the day, right, I think the biggest highlight, though, is just getting to meet all the people every year, seeing new guys, having them come up and be like, this is my first show, it's amazing. I've never gone to a gaming convention before, I just had that happen before the stream. Those are the kind of things that, like, you remember forever, right? Like, the keynote's kind of a blur. I know it happened and it was, like, a lot of fun, but, like, I'll remember signing people's books or defacing the Gremlin page on several people's Grimkin books, for forever. And that to me is, like, that's what Lock and Load's all about. So,
a lot of new faces this year, too.
A lot of new faces.
A lot of returning people. Like, it's a great...
And speaking of new faces, the Iron Gauntlet World Championship has left America again. Congrats to Patrick Dunford, who played what we could pretty much call a perfect Haley 2 game, and becoming our current world champion. Yeah. So we had Christopher Davies last year, so it was Australia last year.
Yep.
This year was
UK.
UK.
Took it back. See what we can do for next year.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Matt, for joining us for this intro. We're going to move on and bring in Matt Getz and Doug Seacat to talk a little bit about Iron Kingdom's minutia. You two have to...
Do we have drums?
No.
Like if I say John play the drums, does anything happen?
This is live. You can just do it.
And I...
What's up, Mr. Getz?
Hey!
Hey!
Hungerford left his bees here.
Bees!
I don't like bees.
Well, it's good you're on that side then.
I'm being instructed to get closer to you.
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed
smoosh
to get all
in. Yeah, smoosh in. Smoosh in.
I don't even know if I'm on camera. I hope I'm not.
You probably are. You're fine. I'm back up here.
All right.
There.
So it's going to be a little bit more lock and load minutia.
It is.
Than,
Lock and load minutia.
than Iron Kingdom's minutia.
So, what you guys? What's happening? Just talk.
Holden.
Just talk. Holden.
Yeah, we wanted.
Right.
We know you guys
What
got
side
into it
were
a
you
little bit.
on?
I was on Living Holden.
Okay,
I've been
okay.
writing about this guy for months.
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
I'm on Living Holden.
Well, you could hate him and be like, no, I want to be a Hollow Man.
I was rooting for Living Holden too.
Everybody was, except for the people who mattered, apparently.
Well, it was pretty fun because in the designing Holden panel, the main betrayer was there, and Matt's reaction when he found out what happened was just classic. He was just like couldn't believe that the betrayer.
Well,
let
the
him
main
down.
betrayer was Ashlyn too. Like
Yeah,
Ashlyn
exactly.
at Borsgate, and she's just like, "Nope, I'm leaving."
So, Doug, I've got to ask now that at least we know the narrative connection between Holden and the Borsgate game we played is true.
Sure.
Does that mean that Borsgate's going to fall into enemy hands for a little bit? What
I
are we
don't
gonna do
think
with
that
this?
things at Borsgate maybe went down exactly like how it was on the game. I don't think we had exactly Crix defending Borsgate, for
Well,
example,
I'm not saying
Crix was
1-to-1.
attacking Borsgate
and defending
and
it.
trying to defend Holden. That's all. They didn't care.
I
Once
see.
the gates were open,
Okay.
it didn't matter.
Okay.
They were just trying to defend Holden.
Sure.
They knew what was up. They
But
were like they saw the potential of the Grimkin in the future.
I mean, it just goes back to the fact that Crix is the only true heroes in the game.
I believe it.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting because, I mean, this had to be an emotional thing for you, Getz, having written, the story. I know you're really attached to Holden, kind of seeing him vacillate between heroism and cowardice. And I can see a lot of interesting possibilities there. But to me, the most compelling dramatic moment is when a Defier, when the heretic grabs Holden. Like he makes his mistake, he falls to cowardice, and then a Defier pulls him away, to turn him into a horrific monster.
Well, I'm really glad that I've already started kind of mulling over the outline for what the episode to all of this is going to sound like.
Sure.
So, thanks, Mike.
It's live, folks. Anything could happen.
Super
Yeah.
live.
But yeah, it was quite fun getting involved with the design Holden scenario. The people involved seemed to be paying really close attention to the story. They kept bringing up little facts from the story, talking about the coin and the choices that were being made, and reminding us of some of the little details. And so, was that gratifying to see that people are
definitely.
reading your fiction and taking it in?
You never really know how people respond to the fiction because unless they write something about it on one of the Facebook groups or something,
Sure.
you don't know what they think of the stories that we're writing.
Right.
So seeing the people who are here who had read and engaged with all the League fiction from the beginning,
Right.
it was definitely gratifying.
Well, so you were in control of kind of executing the plot points during the Battle of
Sure.
Borsgate,
Well, I
right?
mean, as in control as you could be with that group of players.
So
but yeah.
they talked a little bit about the opening scenario, but what was your favorite sort of strangely dramatic plot point and that you had to interpret and make happen
Well, you've heard about Haley 2 rewinding time, right?
to fix part of the wall or
to
something?
repair a broken wall of Borsgate.
That's pretty cool.
That was probably one of the more memorable ones, but it was just chock full of like people trying to come up with different strange events that they could turn to their advantage. I think my favorite were the Grimkin plot points, sort of the bargains that players were making.
Well,
The
yeah.
ones that always turn out poorly for the people who
yeah.
get them.
I
Always
wanted to ask about, there was something about
a gremlin-controlled storm wall.
I wanted you to explain that one. There was a storm wall that went over to
the Grimkin side, yeah.
Right.
So when people would they could make deals with the Grimkin players
Sure.
to get extra plot points.
Right.
And whenever they would try to execute one, I'd pull the Grimkin players aside, and we would all kind of confer on what the outcome should be.
Right.
And the Grimkin Stormwall situation was somebody wanted to activate an inert stormwall that was not under his control with his
and this
caster.
was Gaston,
With
right?
Gaston, little Gaston.
And we're like, okay, it's a little out there. That's not something you could normally do in a game of War Machine.
Right.
But this isn't normal. And we were trying to figure out, okay, what's the consequence for Gaston activating this storm wall? And I think it was Jason Soul said, okay, yeah, he activates it under our control.
And now it's filled with gremlins,
Yeah,
right?
it's like gremlins just rattling around in the vortex. So it was too
slags.
great not to
and
do.
so what did that storm wall end up doing? Did it-
Punching Darius to
well,
death.
it killed. So there were two Dariuses because we had one of those situations where one was real,
mirror-
one was
mirror
fake.
Darius.
Yeah.
So the Darius that was assaulting the walls got punched in the back of the head by the storm wall that used to
That
be
is
his journeyman.
That is a sad death for
It's
Darius right
unfortunate
there.
for poor
That
Darius,
is
yeah.
a very bad
I
death.
have one more question before we have to say goodbye to you guys.
Well,
All right.
I thought we were going to talk about some other stuff.
No, we are, but we only have I'm told we only have 3 minutes, Doug.
Oh,
it's,
okay.
it's refined, man.
Okay.
But there's and until he kicks you off, we can go. As
I
long
thought
as
we
want.
had 10 minutes.
We
so
could
I
have
say
10
we're going to
minutes.
keep
All right,
going.
we're going to
for a
keep
little
going.
while.
Regardless, one of the questions I
3
wanted to
minutes
ask. Oh yeah, see, John's a harsh mistress.
He is.
Yeah, you heard me, John. One of the questions I wanted to ask, just as a quick reaction, because I was really excited to do
Sure.
it, was the Theme Force video was narrated by our own Gavin Kyle.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
What did you
quite a
think
bit.
about the voice?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think maybe I wouldn't have minded taking a stab at it myself.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But I think he did a great job.
Well, let's
and I
hear it.
particularly liked.
You got a microphone, Doug. Let's hear it.
I don't have the script in front of me, but I did like.
Just say some stuff about like the black ogre into the shot spot. Like, just go.
I was just going to say I like the part where he's bragging about himself,
Oh,
where
yeah.
he's calling himself the best spy in the Iron Kingdom.
He
It's
is.
like, I know we haven't made him exactly
Humble? Yeah.
in his contracts, but that seems a little
It was
much.
a little much. Some himself.
It seemed just like Gavin Kyle to me.
All right, sure.
That
sure.
guy can't help but brag about himself.
That's true. How difficult his jobs were.
Yes,
How
yes.
much
what a
they
great
should
bargain
be,
you're getting.
how lucky they are to have him working for them.
Yeah.
But that video was a lot of fun to see. I hadn't seen it ahead of time, so I was right there with the crowd,
Yeah.
taking it in. And no, I thought they nailed it.
How about you did a big Grimkin event?
Well,
right?
I'm about to.
You're about to do. You
Yeah.
haven't done it yet.
Haven't
All
done
right.
it yet.
So,
But
It's-
we can
it's
we
dead-
can talk
yeah,
about that a little
project
bit.
into the future. Give us a view.
So we did
Explain
Dead
it a little
Reckoning
bit.
last year,
Yep.
which was a 4-table event where the players wound up fighting Terminus near the end.
Yep.
And the people who are playing this year don't know yet, but they're going to fight one of the Defiers.
Oh my.
But it's a Defier, so the world is much weirder because of that. We're actually all 4 tables in this event are in the same place, but they're like 4 different instances of that same
Yeah,
place.
it's like the Wanderer has taken the town and sort of divided it into 4 different realities with
Yeah.
different people in them, and it's this crazy investigation to figure out like all of this town is filled with bad, horrible people,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
so that's why the Grimkin are there, because it's just filled with wicked people that are getting the wicked harvest happening, and the players have a chance to try to save a few of them. Some of them probably aren't going to make it.
Yeah. But one of the more interesting things mechanically going on in this event is the players can actually walk on the Wanderer's roads.
Oh.
So a player can get up from his table and end up at one of the other ones.
Right.
They don't know that yet, but there's going to be
Unless
some
they're
hot
listening
swapping
to this
going on.
right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Awesome. So you guys did a couple others. You did one on the Strange Light workshop, right? With Wicked Ways.
Yeah, we've done some seminars, we've done some
Yeah.
hangouts talking
Yeah.
about things.
A lot of
and,
people are really into the Strange Light workshop.
They're Iron Kingdom's Ghostbusters, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny actually in that workshop because we had a really good turnout, and Matt Wilson asked, okay, so clearly all of you guys have probably read Wicked Ways, and only a few of them had, and he's like, so
Oh.
why are you guys here? It's because they wanted to know about the Strange Light.
Well, and
Were
it's,
you like, read Wicked Ways and then
Yeah,
come back and
yeah,
we'll talk?
it was interesting too because almost to a man, everybody in that hangout played the role-playing game, so there's clearly interest in
Yeah.
kind of the synergy between those two.
Well,
Yeah.
No Quarter Prime, right? You wrote the first Strange Light, like,
The
Yeah.
Haunting of Blackwell Hall.
Right.
nice.
Yep.
But so yeah, that was great, and the highlight of the show for me was my conspiracy theories
Oh,
hangout,
yes.
which where Brent Walder put together a crazy board of having to do with Empress Vanar's true religious affiliations. But
Nice.
it was a fun panel, a lot of nonsense, but it was fun.
I mean, I've heard you guys scheming about that for like the last 3 months. So
Yeah.
yes, I can only imagine that it went totally off the rails.
It was
crazy.
great. It was great.
Yep.
But I think that's about where we're at.
All
and-
right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you, Will.
Have fun at your event. I
Yep.
can't wait to go over there and poke my head in and see how the players handle it.
Yeah, me too.
Doug, as always, a pleasure to talk to you guys.
Great.
We'll bring you back for the next full episode of Primecast, talk more about whatever you guys want to talk about.
All right,
Nice.
sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you much, guys. Come on back, Hungy. Oh. Wait, that's not right. No. I can't.
Play the drums.
No, you do it. I
You
do
could
the
just
huh.
say the drums.
Say the drums. Huh.
Okay.
Is he? Tony, are you playing the drums? Oh my God, you're the man, Tony.
I thought we couldn't ever acknowledge Tony or he ceases to exist.
He's real happy right now. Look at it. Look at how smiley he is right now. Like he is
happy.
He is just so. Can you play the drums just one more time for us? Just play them on demand. I like the fact that we can demand the drums now.
Oh, I see him bouncing his
Yeah,
head.
yeah. He's just going with it. All right.
So, real fast, for anybody watching, we always hear us talk about Tony in the background. He's a magical.
Yes.
So if you ever meet Tony, Tony is the only truly good person at Privateer
Whoa,
Press.
that's
like
true.
morally good.
Wait a second.
Speaking of
No, it's
immoral
true.
people, hey, Doug Hamilton, how are you doing?
I'm replacing Doug.
Seacat.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Doug for Doug.
Are you going to start writing and he's going to start sculpting?
I think we've tried that and it didn't work out good.
It's just, both are artistic creations with different mediums. You should sculpt with words.
I've
and
signed a
he
few
should
of his
write with
books.
clay.
Right, that's how we should do it.
What have you been sculpting at the show, by the way?
I have been sculpting Axiara, one of the solos.
Axiara Wraithblade?
Yes,
So good.
Axiara Wraithblade.
Solo for the new upcoming Crix
Black Fleet.
drop.
Right, she looks super cool
I'm so
too.
excited she's finally coming. Like I've wanted her in the game forever. We actually put her in a league once.
Yeah.
Because
No
I wrote
kidding.
her in the story because I wanted her like in the game so bad.
Someone mentioned that there was fluff with her, and I was
Yeah,
like, I haven't read it.
there
And they're
is.
Like, is there?
She murders herself some Northkin trolls
Well,
who
that
get drunk
seems-
and get lost. Like the whole thing is like Scaldy Bonehammer is supposed to be going north, and they're drinking so much, and it's from the perspective of like this like probably the only like tolerant troll blood ever who just doesn't drink that much. He's like, these people are idiots. Like they're so drunk, they've like gone off course. They keep going to the left, so they wind up on the shores. And
Wow.
XR just comes in and murders them all.
Wow, way to write trolls is like heroes, man. It's just a bunch of like drunk fools who keep
first
going
of all,
left.
First of all, there are many hero trokin. Scaldy Bonehammer is not one of them.
Sure,
okay?
but to have them like get a bunch of dudes drunk and lost and murdered by like a pirate.
Yeah.
Woo!
But it's a cool
They
pirate.
put up their fight. And
Oh.
yeah, Axiara is like, she's awesome. And now
is.
she's in the game. I'm so excited.
That makes me
Thrilled.
even happier to be working on her.
Exactly.
Yeah, and she's just another member of a long list of Statixis type models that I'm working on right now.
Yeah, because are you also doing the unit?
Yes, I'm also doing
Yeah,
the unit.
we showed that during the keynote.
We did.
We're getting a
We did.
resculpt of the
We're getting
unit.
a resculpt.
Right, resculpt on the Statixis Raiders.
Make them more piratey.
They're very piratey.
Yes.
So we're resculpting the whole unit, the leader of the unit, and also the Sea Witch.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, nice.
They look real good.
They're coming
so
along
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
I'm
I
excited
love it.
about them.
Have you finished any models of the show? Like, is Axiara done, for example?
No,
Or-
I literally started Axiara this weekend.
Okay.
So I was really excited. The whole idea was I'm like, all right, which one have I not started that I
Mm-hmm.
want to show? And Axiara is the one that I picked out just
People
because
have
she
seen
looks so
her
cool.
from like digital clay block to where is
Literally
she now?
nothing. A piece of concept art is what I started with on Thursday, and now she has a body roughed in. I'm starting on her face. She has some elaborate horns. They're
She
more,
does.
They're more elaborate than,
Yes.
than a typical
Well,
Statixis.
I mean that's the mark. It's the badge of honor. You know.
It
How
should
do
be.
your horns look? They're impressive horns.
They're impressive horns.
Yeah.
They're great.
So outside of the sculpting you've been doing as your job to make money and survive, at Lock and Load, what has been like your personal highlight?
Grimkin.
Grimkin, seeing all like
Yeah.
the Grimkin being played.
I have not seen all of the Grimkin, and coming in and getting to see them for the first time, the finished product. I've seen like some digital renders of them, things like that. But to see the final version of them, the studio painted versions of them, they look so cool. I was of the mindset I was like, I'm not taking Grimkin home with me.
Oh, that's nonsense.
And now it's happening?
It's
Grimkin
happening.
are so.
I already talked to Pagani. I was like, all right, I need a list with the child. I need 75 points so I can take it home with me after this show.
Yeah. No, That's a good highlight. It's a good highlight.
It
I agree.
really
I
is.
agree. Did you look through the book yet?
I've signed a couple of books, so
All right. You got to go look through the book because, like, I know you didn't see any of it in progress. So it'll be brand new to you. So I'm
Right.
really curious to see like what you think about it because I think it's awesome.
Yeah, the book is madness.
It's so cool.
I've seen a
It's
few
basically
pages
just
of
an
it.
insane person's manifesto on these like crazy demons that people don't believe exist.
Oh,
But like
man.
totally do because now they're murdering fools.
I've heard a lot of people talking about the book, saying it looks great.
Yeah.
Have you got any games in?
I've gotten a few games in. I've got to play the new Scorn Immortal list
Yeah.
that I've been pestering you guys for a couple of months.
Just a few months, yeah.
And and
I've been on that train for years, Doug.
I believe you have. The first thing I did when I got to the studio last week was I was like, all right, Pagani, give me that list. And he's like, okay, here it is. I'm like, now I want to play it. So I got the okay to play it and got to show that off. And so I've been playing Scorn. I've gotten 3 or 4 games in this weekend and
Nice.
had a good time. I
Yeah.
haven't won all of them, but they've been great games. And I'm going to try to sneak a couple more games in today before the show ends.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, Doug, for joining us. I think it's time to say goodbye to you.
All right.
Let you get back to Axiar and get those games in.
I don't think we have any more Dougs to fill in, so
We do not. We're going to change out for another Will, actually.
okay, great.
Which
Thanks,
we have
guys.
entirely too many of.
We have way too many Wills.
All right, I'm out of
All
here.
right.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Pile of Will time.
Play the drums. Play the drums sped up.
I don't think that works.
Play the drums backwards.
Oh,
how
are you?
close should I
Wow, wow.
we can share a
Oh.
mic like
Oh my
all like
God, I don't
gunner
like it.
style.
I don't like it.
Are you which of the two twins are you?
You know, we were doing pretty good.
I just come through your
Like
shirt.
Primecast was
that.
pretty normal, and now it's just
It just got weird, and like I never
It's
expected
pile
Oz
time.
to be the one to make it weird. But I
Hey,
think it's
it's
because of the pile of wills.
It's been a weekend full of love.
I mean, it's been a very loving weekend.
Oz,
It's
Lot
true.
of love.
we've determined that the collective noun for all the wills at Privateer Press is a pile.
Yes, it's sweaty, and it probably smells like a foot.
It's a pile of wills.
Sure, why not?
Hey, everybody. It's
I
Oz
like
Schoonover, our development manager, my direct boss.
Woo woo!
Yep. Hey guys.
A great man. Very
I
smart.
tried. I try. I don't know about that, but I try.
Rugged.
So,
Rugged.
what have you been up to this lock and load?
Lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So besides commentating for the first time with
Yep.
you during the Boards Gate thing,
Yep.
which was a lot of
Yep.
fun,
Yep.
and doing round 2 of the Iron Gauntlet with
Pagani.
Pagani,
Yeah.
we watched the two Aarons face
You
off.
did. You watched Aaron Whale, who wound up in the finals
And
against
Aaron Allen. Yep.
Uh-huh.
So then we also had board game events. So at
Yep.
Lock and Load,
Yep.
we take our board games and we blow them up into big giant events.
Right.
So today, right now, across the wall behind us,
Yeah.
they're doing the Corvus Calibration, which is an undercity event with 16 people playing at
Mm-hmm.
4 different tables, each with their own missions that interact. Yesterday, we did, or the day before, we did a Grimkin version of that.
I was going to say, I knew you'd swapped out for Grimkin at one of those.
So I made a bunch of bad guy cards for Grimkin, and we spray painted a bunch of Grimkin models, blue and red and purple. And then later on today,
Wait.
there will be the Corvus, the Operation Crucible,
wait.
the Omega Protocol event.
Wait, stop.
That has been running for years and years and years, and everyone loves.
Stop.
But
Stop.
that's not the most
The
exciting
Grimkin
thing.
event. Do you have a Holden in it?
Oh yeah, there is a Holden in there. So there's 16 heroes in those events, but only 15 heroes have been published because
Okay.
of stretch goals and all that stuff. So I make a special event only hero. So the Corvus Calibration has a Stormsmith, Whisker
Right.
from the Jake's
Whisker, yep.
Yeah.
The
short
Jake's
story.
short story. I remember
And
talking about that.
Holden appeared all over the place at Lock and Love this year, and he was also in that event.
Nice.
He was nigh unkillable. He had all kinds of abilities to say, "I didn't die. Nope, didn't get me. I didn't die."
And this was living Holden in
And
that
it was
one.
living Holden. It was
Yeah.
pre-Boards Gate Holden.
Because as it turns out, he's actually killable.
Yeah.
So, John is holding up a sign to us right now. So everybody, we're on Primecast.
You
We're
gotta
just
get closer.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
call in.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
being told to scooch closer
Scooch
in.
in.
Cool.
I saw Smooch at
So-
first.
well,
and I was
I
like,
just
no, I'm
noticed-
not
in.
doing that.
We were just talking, and anybody watching probably just
Penmanship.
watch these two stop and just go.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So
Uh-huh.
we know what we're just calling it out. Thank you, John. We know
Yep.
we need to get
That's
closer
what happens.
together. All right, the pile is closer. Well, we have broad shoulders.
We do.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to do before.
Oh, my God,
Like,
it's so
I
weird.
mean,
Give me these.
you can get in.
Bees!
Totally get in.
All right.
Ooh, weird beast.
I didn't mean. Well, I meant to interrupt you, but that was to talk about something cool before you glossed over.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue, please.
But the most exciting thing.
Yes, the most exciting thing.
thing
The most exciting thing.
is Company of Iron.
Yes.
So this-
I've
this-
had people stop me on the street to
This-
tell me how
yes.
awesome Company of Iron is.
This morning-
and I just have to assume that they're Lock and Load attendees. 'Cause
Maybe.
They're not wearing badges.
Maybe.
There's like, Company of Iron's amazing, man. Thank you. And I was just like, you're welcome, stranger.
So this morning is finally the hangout for it.
Yep.
People have been asking me all weekend when this hangout is.
Yes.
I have somewhere around 8 sets of components, so I can play 8 games.
Yep.
I'm hoping that not too many people just crowd the place and I have like 40, 50, 60 people hanging around because I just don't want to disappoint all those guys and not be able to play. But I did play a couple of games at the Invitational, so
Yes.
Hungerford.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I played a lot.
And last night, I secretly wandered the room looking
Looking
for the
for
people that
volunteers.
were the most casual.
Uh-huh.
Because
Secret
this is a
Oz.
narrative event.
Yes.
I mean, a narrative system
Yep.
that's supposed to be
Yep,
pretty
yep.
casual. And I found some guys playing their own style event called Hardcore Casual.
Nice.
You build 15-point War Machine armies. You deploy them, 6 people
Uh-huh,
or more,
uh-huh,
deploy
sure,
them.
sure.
Then you roll to see what team you're on.
Oh.
And then you play War Machine.
Right, yeah, you play.
So those guys, when I noticed how casual they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
playing,
sure.
I asked them, "Do you guys want to play Company of Iron?" And they all like, "Woo!"
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously.
And they just started booing loudly.
Then they said,
Whoa.
"Well,"
Can
we
you want to play
have-
Company of Iron? Boo! He'd be like, what?
then they
what?
said, "Can we have about an hour to finish this?"
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, "Well, that's not going to take too long. I'm going to find somebody else." And then they were like, "Okay, guys, let's just quit and play that."
Just quit.
So 3 guys got to play, or 3 tables got to play last
Yeah, yeah.
night, and one of the guys, I can't remember his name, he was actively bouncing and giggling almost the entire time.
That's
So
awesome.
there's been a lot of
Yeah.
people telling me that that's the thing that they're the most excited about
Yeah.
at Lock and Load
Well-
this year, or in general, because it's even smaller War Machine and
Well,
it's super thematic.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, like, and it's kind of a fresh take on. It has like the core components of War Machine,
Yeah.
but then like the alternating model activation between your opponents, the way the cards work. I love the cards because it's just like it's a game without focus, and you're like, but War Machine's core is about resource management.
Yeah.
And yet the cards immediately throw that back in.
I like it because there are many armies I want to collect, but
it's so
aspects
easy.
of them,
Oh, yeah.
and not the whole thing. Like, I don't necessarily want. I've got my minions. I've got some other armies I'm going to branch into, but I don't know that I would ever collect, say, a full-on Convergence army personally.
Sure.
But I have some Convergence models I really like, and so now with Company of Iron, I can just build those, and then I also like converting models, but I don't have a ton of time. So Company of Iron gives
Right.
me a small project that I can convert just a handful of models to look like what my Company of Iron would be, and then give them a cool name and a paint scheme. And so when I face people, it's not just like, here are my models. It'll be like, here are the whatevers.
The Company of Iron army, right? If you can probably I know, speaking for myself, I could paint one of those in probably about 6 hours, right?
Oh yeah,
It depends.
And it depends on kind of what you pick.
It's
but
20 to 25 points. Terran, Rucker, and a Vanguard.
It's true.
It-
you pick
It's
that way
not
faster.
necessarily a great
Yeah.
force in some of those scenarios.
No, that's not a good force at all.
It might be okay.
Like in the
some
bomb
scenarios.
scenario where you have to get models up to the objectives and plant bombs. You have 3 bros trying to do that.
I
Well, but
think
one of
so.
them's a Vanguard.
Speaking of Rucker and Terran,
Yeah.
when I finally get Rex to be made, you
Yeah.
have to allow him into Company of Iron. There has to be a special theme force that allows you to just take Rex, Terran, and Rucker.
Dude, I've been pushing for Rex for so long.
I know. We
Like-
almost had him.
We almost
Then
had
he
him.
slipped away.
So
Can I
one of
talk
the-
about what the pitch was?
One of the big no.
No.
This is about me right now. So one of the big questions we've had a
Wow,
lot.
that was really aggressive,
It was.
Oz.
It was
Oz,
in
you
there.
gotta
I
look
only
good.
have this
in
much
there.
more
No,
time.
no,
John's
no.
over there making gestures
No,
and
let's
stuff.
just calm it down. Everybody, let's bring it down level.
So a big question we've had is
That didn't work at all.
expansions.
Yep.
More stuff.
Yep.
And we're not announcing or talking about any of that stuff officially, but we are internally considering what
Yep.
to do. And
No Quarter
all
Prime.
those,
Well, we talked
yeah,
about No
and
Quarter
no quarter prime. So there will be special scenarios.
Yep.
Like I'm imagining one right now that that we've talked about. We've been working
Take
on
down the
kind
monster.
No, the escort your wounded heavy warjack across the table.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
And there are littered coal stashes, and if you get coal into him, he can run or charge
Right.
or
Move
boost
faster.
or whatever.
Or the
But
one that's
normally
the
he
escort,
can't.
like the gun carriage. Where
Yeah.
one person will be playing a battle engine, right, and everyone else has got maybe bombs they can stick on it. Where while the main rules say no large or huge bases, we can create scenarios.
We
where
can break the rules.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
what you're
we
saying.
can.
we can break the rules because and we
So
said
can
that-
you, honestly. Just
Yeah.
break the rules.
If Boris
it's
Gate has taught
narrative
us
and fun.
anything,
We can break the rules. And here's
Break
the
all
key
the
thing. We said on the
rules.
keynote, I want to reiterate it. There's not going to be any tournament organized play
Correct.
for this. We want to keep this purely casual and narrative, and you'll see that in the scenarios that,
Yeah.
that come out in No Quarter Prime and in maybe future products as well. This
Yeah.
is not meant to. If you put a death clock down during your Company of Iron games, you're done goofed.
That'd be
Yeah.
a lot of clock slapping when
There'll be a
you think
lot of
about it.
clock
It's
slapping.
I move my guy. Psh, I move my guy. Psh, psh. Terrifying.
Yeah.
So you guys also did some CID panels, right?
we did.
Yeah.
Why, you
Souls-
just switch gears like that.
At CID Live yesterday, Souls had the Theme Force document in a binder. Souls
the whole
keeps-
thing, right?
Souls keeps
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
Word doc together,
Yep.
all
Yep.
the theme forces. He
Yep.
printed all of it out except a few pages he didn't
Sure,
want
sure,
to
sure.
even barely leak.
That-
He put it in a top secret binder, and then during that thing, people would ask questions, and Souls would be like, yeah or no. And then, the Lealese Resistance Theme
Right.
Force, he just read it off.
No,
Or actually, no, he
I read it
Hunter
off,
just
and
read
then
it
at one
off.
point he also gave me the book, and I just ran off with it. So I told a couple people some things. I shared the upcoming Scorn Beast theme force. Let's get free Krayas or free Agonizers.
Yeah.
And I shared the upcoming Doom Reaver Greylord theme
Yep.
force.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the whole point of that was we were telling people where we're going with theme forces and some of our goals, which one of our main goals that we stated is we want, if you own a model, whatever it is, it will have a home in a theme force in your faction, and our goal is close to the end of the year to
Right.
release all these. Because originally, and let's just go ahead and say this, our idea was that we needed to have the model releases for that theme force to come out at the same time. And for some of those, it still makes sense. We couldn't have put out Northkin theme force early
Correct.
without the models.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And that mentality stayed. But then we realized, you know what? The players are okay if they have a theme force that maybe only has 2 or 3 units and a handful of solos for now, because at least they can play with those models.
Sure.
So we're going to try and get all the theme forces that are play tested and ready to go out there. And then when they get their still future release, we'll go back over
Sure.
them again.
Yeah, it gives them something to use right now with the promise of what's coming in the future.
So expect to see a ton of theme forces coming from the dev team very soon.
And the CID Live that's going on right now started with basically Jay and one other guy as our only attendees. So Pagani and Jack were just basically giving other tiny spoilers from the slideshow of the Christmas models of things that hadn't exactly been explained or like one ability that nobody knew about. So since those models are coming up right after Northkin, they're only about a month away in CID.
Yeah, you're looking at like what, shortly before, after Gen Con, really.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, the other important thing from CID we should mention that we said publicly here is we are starting to ratchet down the big game level CID changes.
Oh yeah,
things like we did all of Battle Engines. We'll do stuff like that. But like the recent addition of adding mercs and minions into all the theme forces or assault changing, we are very focused in on trying to reduce the amount of those you're going to see on CID, and CID just becoming the new stuff that's coming out, and occasionally an older model that works with the new stuff very well that we want to re-review to make sure that the game is fully stable and that the meta is player-driven and not being driven by the changes occurring in CID.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I gotta go. I gotta go prepare to be swarmed.
I like
by
how
the
you're
mass.
like, I gotta go.
I'm
You
in that
looked over
Company of
there like
Iron
somebody's,
hangout
like,
with you, by the
hanging
way?
out with you.
Yeah.
So after this, I have to just like run over there and help him
You'll
out.
be fine.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Oh, well, he does.
I can handle
He's
it.
team leader.
Hey, Oz, do you have a go-to Company of Iron list that you play?
So yesterday, my favorite list, the one I played the most, is Agata from the box set.
Yep.
4 points. Maximus, 5 points.
Yep.
Slaughterhousers, 11 points.
11 points. All
Okay.
right.
So you're playing. You prefer 20 over 25, or you just play whatever?
It depends. Like I look at the models I want to put in, and usually thematically, like minimum bombardiers, minimum shock troopers, 20 points.
Yeah.
And then the reason 25 points exist is because you can't always get the models you want into a theme force.
Right.
I mean, into a force for Company of Iron. Sometimes it's 21 points. Sometimes it's 19. You're like, well, I really wish I could take one more model.
Right.
So we did those two variables so that you could have more fun building armies.
I have one more question for you before we let you go.
Sure.
If you have 19 points and your opponent has 21 points, should they just play the game anyway and not worry that much
Yes,
about
they
it?
should.
That's
and
right.
the person playing down points gets a tiny card advantage.
Well, look at that.
Boom.
It's almost like you just sort of like agree
Like
things.
soft balance.
It's almost like you just have fun with your opponent and agree
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Totally.
Madness.
Succulent.
All right. Well, thanks, Oz.
Yep.
Go have fun at
I'm
Company
gonna
of Iron.
run that
Look
way.
forward to coming back over there and poking my head in.
Cool. Bye.
All right. Next up, we got Lyle Lowry.
My favorite. Oh,
Play
you
the drums.
Didn't play the drums. Tony, play the drums.
Hello, everybody.
You don't know if the drums are over yet.
Oh, God.
Say it again.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. You got to
Well-
scooch in. You got to smooch in, as I read on John's thing. Oh, man, we are totally rubbing butts
Well,
right now.
Wait, did the sign say smooch
What's
in?
up? I thought it said smooch in, which is why I stopped and read it for longer than I needed because I was like, what does that mean?
That
And
is-
I'm not doing it.
I've had directors give me that order before,
The
but
smooch in?
it's very different in a very different venue.
I don't think I would
I'm
want
sorry.
to smooch
Go ahead.
Oz.
No, we're okay. Hey,
Your
Lyle.
segment has been hijacked now by this discussion, so
That's what I basically
yeah,
expected.
okay, good.
Lyle, you're in charge of one of the most important things ever to come out for our company. How's that feel?
It feels great.
So, Lyle Lowry is our No Quarter editor-in-chief.
No Quarter Prime, editor-in-chief,
No Quarter
dog.
Prime.
He's done with No Quarter. No Quarter is yestermonth's news. Now it is No Quarter Prime. It is the future.
Don't we still have an issue
Listen to
coming
Will
out?
Schick here.
Yeah,
we
do you
do,
hear
but,
this?
but it's done, and it's going to be out next week. So
I think we could wrestling promo No Quarter Prime.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, Lyle, No Quarter Prime. Tell us, well, anybody watch the keynote, they probably know, like, this is the one-stop shop for all the new War Machine and Hordes
Right.
and anything Privateer Press coming out, right?
well, anything War Machine and Hordes. It's going to be War Machine and Hordes focused.
But we did mention things like the Strange Light RPG self-contained adventure, right? So
Yes.
there will be some variety mixed in.
But it's going to be the Iron Kingdom setting only.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So we wouldn't see any other games. So what has been your most exciting part of this whole process of recreating No Quarter Prime?
Really, it's just been the creative process of figuring out everything that's going to go into the new magazine. It's been a big task with like a lot of minds involved figuring out what the reformat's going to look like, and that's been a fun process.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we explored not just different content. You explored different page layouts. You explored different, like flipping the magazine on its side and doing it landscape format.
Right.
Like,
Chiseling it in stone?
just, iron steel plates.
Still
Yeah.
I mean, why limit
Screen
ourselves
printing on
to
steel
paper
plates.
media?
Exactly.
We could do steel plate media.
Yeah, steel plate media.
Yeah, or just beam it directly
Shipping
to
will be
people's heads.
passed on to you, the subscriber.
Yeah.
But no, like one of the things we talked about at the, or we briefly mentioned, that I think is one of the coolest new features of No Quarter Prime, especially given the amount of new people are always coming in the game, or even people who came in Mark 1, is like War Machine now has an over what is it? Almost 15-year long storyline,
right?
Yeah.
And to find it and to get in there, it's like you got to go through a bunch of different books. You have to grab things that are now only available digitally, or you have to find print stuff, or you can go to like some fan sites have like compilations and things. But you're taking the opportunity for No Quarter Prime to do something that's really awesome with Fire and Forge, right?
Fire in the Forge, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the things to elaborate a little bit more on what you're saying. Some of the oldest stuff in the saga would actually be not just across the old expansion books, but a story would be partially in an expansion book and partially in a random issue of No Quarter,
right,
or partially appear online or something like that.
Yeah, like the end of Apotheosis was in No Quarter, right? So you have the beginning of the story in the book.
Expatriation. That was his name.
What? What?
You heard me.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead, Lau.
So it's almost impossible to read the whole saga in order right now for someone who's coming into it now. So what we're doing, and it's been one of the most requested things probably we've ever done, is we're going back and telling the beginning of that War Machine and Horde saga from Escalation all the way on, starting with that like pivotal moment of the invasion of Lael. So we're going to tell it all in a almost documentary style format.
That's probably the part that I'm like most excited about, is the fact that like we're going to do it Ken Burns style.
Right.
So like you're going to have like historical like text, and then you're going to have like narratives that are done from like fictional narrative perspectives, and it's like it's all going to be seamless.
Yeah, just imagine those like dramatizations you see on TV.
Yeah. We're going to get like character voices and be like, "My dear Annabelle,
exactly.
I've been fighting in these trenches in Lael, and I love it."
Yeah, and Doug Seacap's really taking the helm on this, so it's gonna, it's gonna be high quality, and it's gonna be the most accurate version of the saga that you can get.
I want to get to the part where that we have this trencher who's doing like, it's just his letters over the years, and it gets to the part where the Grimkin show up.
Yeah.
Right, and he's like, still sitting in these trenches. Pig riding a gnome showed up today, beat Jimmy to death, ran away screaming, got on the train. There were dragons in it. I hate this place. I'll never see you again. I don't know if you're alive. Goodbye. Because life in the Iron Kingdoms is a nightmare.
I don't think that's what happens, actually. I think he's like, "Most exciting thing happened today, Annabelle. I saw me Mr. Hoggins. He is riding a gnome."
Did you say Mr. Hoggins?
Mr. Hoggins, yes. Yes. He was riding a gnome, carrying my old manure shovel.
No.
He came in and he smacked that smart-ass Billy right on his head.
No, and he's not actually right, because this dude's so deranged from the stuff he's seeing that he's just like scribbling in the dirt. My bee fell off. And then like he's just scribbling in the dirt, then he hands a stick to no one and says, "Please deliver this to my wife." And they're just like, "Who are you?" And he just wanders away with like a broken trench knife, because no one wants to live in this setting.
No, he's definitely a major by now, and he's leading a division.
That's why like the IKRPG is the most exciting RPG you can play, because every day is an adventure.
That's
You're
true.
Like, I'm going to go to the well to get some water. Whoop, warp wolves. Or like, man, it's time to get...
Warp wolf in the well?
Warp wolf in the well.
That sounds like an amazing adventure title.
Granny's out of bread. Doom
Werewolf.
Reavers. Crap. Like, yeah. Hey, Lyle. Sorry.
Hello.
No Quarter Prime. How's it going?
It's going great.
I am going to write that letter series, right? Like we've established this is official now?
Oh, yeah.
All right, perfect.
This is happening now.
First preview from No Quarter Prime.
So I do want to address a question I've been seeing pop up quite a bit. The first run of the print issue of No Quarter Prime, number 1, includes a miniature. And a lot of people have been asking, does the local stores get it? Do we get it internationally? As long as it's the first run of the print issue, you get it everywhere.
Awesome.
So subscribers, through your store, international, domestic, all that.
Oh, sweet segue. What comes in the first issue of No Quarter Prime?
We showed that during the keynote.
We did.
Let's talk about it again.
Let's talk about it.
It's Eilish, and if you watch the keynote, you got to see the figure, right? And he looks awesome.
Yeah.
So this is not the Eilish from the Undercity. This is Eilish on his next stage. So if you've read Wicked Ways, I think there's a bunch of like hints as to why he has progressed to be known as Eilish the Occultist. He likes books, maybe a little too much, and he's starting down a weird path.
Yeah, his likes are occult knowledge, dark magic, and
black candles
and busted rules.
I think it's fitting that the guy who likes to read is the guy that comes with the magazine.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
I just see what you did there.
It's perfect.
Oh my
It's
god,
perfect.
it's so good. Anyway, so we also talked a little bit briefly in the keynote about there will be like terrain and painting features in the No Quarter. Are you
Hostile territory? I believe the article series is
Hostile
called.
territory.
And this is the thing I like to do to people on the actual Primecast that's edited, so it's going to be even more awkward live. Are you in a position where you can talk about what the first one will be in the first issue, like what the actual content will be, or is that not yet
Yeah, we
determined?
can talk about it.
Oh,
So
sweet.
The first one is going to be following a Scorn encampment.
Okay.
And so it's basically like you're following the supply trail of a Scorn encampment as they invade the Protectorate,
cool.
a la Godless. So it's actually going to be on the outskirts of Tower Judgment, and you're going to see some Scorn siege weaponry and stuff like that.
Nice.
And there's an article that shows you how to build those things. Oh, that's dope.
So we're going to do like the Scorn mantlets, like invasion mantlets to protect your invasionary forces.
And then there's a scenario that goes along with that uses those terrain elements, right?
Exactly.
That's awesome. So effectively, you're going to be assaulting Tower Judgment with your manlets.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's super awesome.
Bring
wrote
that thing down.
Who wrote the scenario?
Who wrote the scenario? I don't know. Some guy in dev.
Some guy in dev? Wasn't me.
Wasn't you?
His name's probably Pagani because he does everything better.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I just asked
Wow.
Oz.
Pagani does it better. I've seen that hashtag.
I just asked
Dude.
Oz to take care of it.
Pagani does it better.
I love Will Pagani, and I'm going to have to shank him now.
Yeah?
There's a note over here from John.
Yeah, it says we have 8 minutes left in our fabulous live Primecast that's gone swimmingly well,
Hold on.
including notes about smooching. It's right there. It says smooch.
It does. No, that says Scooch.
It looks like smooch.
I think it says smooch.
And Lyle, apparently you're going to be in the outro with us. So
Oh, yeah.
congrats. You've
Welcome.
been promoted.
Excellent.
Welcome.
Welcome to the finale.
But I am going to
All
stab
right.
Pagani.
We're going to need you to set off some fireworks
Okay.
behind us.
Okay.
We have smoke pots and stuff. Tony, we have smoke pots, right? We've got pyrotechnics. Tony's shrugging his shoulders. I'm going to give you a lighter, and you're going to have to improvise.
It makes me wish I still had my dubstep button.
I know. Where is that?
You have a dubstep button?
Yeah.
It was our panic button for yesterday. You had to unlock it and everything, but if something went catastrophically wrong with the stream, we were supposed to hit the button.
And dubstep started playing?
Yes.
Wow, that is an interesting contingency plan. So, wait, I got something for Lyle, though. We've asked everybody else that's been on. So, No Quarter Prime, it's going to be dope. Cool. Lock and Load. What has been your highlight of Lock and Load, your personal highlight?
Ooh, that's hard. I would say there's two things. I got to work behind the scenes on Boars Gate. We were on the streaming end.
Yep.
And so I got to watch that. And my favorite thing about Boars Gate was the creative ways people were using their plot twists.
Yeah.
That stuff was fantastic. It was so much fun to watch. And the other thing that I thought was really cool was the War Room integration into Alexa.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
Now,
Skynet
I
was
have
was
five
awesome.
Alexas in my house. So
Lyle will never be without War Machine rules again.
I can find out War Room rules anywhere.
Dude, you were the biggest gadget head I know in my life. Like, dude, Lyle will come in almost every other month and be like, have you seen this thing I did? I'm like, that's a watch in your shoe. He like,
Yes, Pyro. Wait, you have to come back when we're done, though. We weren't ready yet, Valerie. But I'm glad we got a test. Valerie has just been
what
promoted
just
to my favorite.
happened?
To my favorite. Wait, don't go too far, Valerie. We're almost done. I'm gonna close it out, and then I'm gonna say pyrotechnics, and then I need you to do your thing.
So everybody, that was Valerie, our social media coordinator.
Yeah. Now social media coordinator / pyrotechnician,
So Valerie, social
making
pyro,
things 100 times more
so-
awesome.
social
Since
pyrotechnician,
2017.
just burning it all down. Sorry, Lyle, Boars Gate, widgets,
Yes.
cool things.
Widgets?
Yeah, stuff.
Alexa,
Alexa.
the robots now rule your life.
Alexa, buy War Machine starter set. That's for you people at home.
Yeah.
And so you're going to go to monoclesociety.com/war room to sign up for the beta, right?
I already did.
Oh, perfect.
I
All
did
right.
during the keynote.
Well, in case you haven't done it and you do have an Alexa device, monoclesociety.com/war room, sign up for the beta, and get in and help the machines take over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's time we start maybe wrapping this up. I'm going to look into John's eyes,
think
and
so.
he's going to tell me if we should start doing the outro or not.
No, we're in the outro now. That's what the note said.
Oh, we're in the outro now?
Yeah, this is the outro.
Well, This has been about what we expected.
I think it went way better than I expected.
It went great
because we don't have a dump button, and we didn't need one.
Nobody is cursed.
All right, and now Valerie comes in. Valerie, close this out. Pyrotechnician 2017 Lock and Load. Yes.
Dude, why am I being set on fire?
Thank you. Join us for next month's episode of War Machine Hordes. Privateer Press Primecast, the only official place for Privateer Press Primecast. Please play the music. Oh my God, he's on fire.
It doesn't even work.
Please.
Primecast is your only official Privateer Press podcast. This podcast is copyright property of Privateer Press Incorporated. All rights reserved. All trademarks mentioned in this show are property of their respective owners. Permission to replicate and rebroadcast this podcast is granted for non-profit purposes.